Okay, so this is one of those problems that if it was a multiple choice, it'd be super duper easy. But in this case, it's not a multiple choice. But we can still work it out. I'm gonna show what I do with students when I first introduce this, and then you can take it from there however you want. All these are gonna have the QR codes over here on the side, and yes, all these annotations will be removed. Well, one of the things I do teach, for example, I'll start with an easy one. I will start with this part: 2 over, let's say, x to the fourth power over 4x squared is I'll have the students write it out 2 times x times x times x times x. And then I'll go 4 times x times x. And then I will uh, do that little number and then talk about that. So this is 1/2 x squared, right? Things like that. When it gets fun and interesting is when I get, for example, that negative power with the x. What does this mean? Well, what happens there, right? So that actually is something like this, like 2xx over, 1, for example, xx and x down here. We eventually say, hey, this is x squared, and this becomes x to the fourth, and we go 2 minus 4, and this is 2x to the negative 2, right? We will preach that one. If you're a student watching this is what we've had you do, right? You cancel and cancel. I got the 2 at the bottom. The x squareds are at the bottom, so it's 2. Really what we have here is 2 over x squared, but we don't write it that way, or you can. Actually, that's where we prefer it. But you might see it written this way, right? But it really means that these x's are underneath here. But what happens, though, when I give you this? Whoa, what does that mean? Well, again, from here, we brought it up, became negative, right? It means this is really 2x squared. And if you want to rewrite 2x squared, you can write it like this, 2 to the negative, x to the negative 2, like that. These will be the exact same thing. That's all that's happening here. And if this is confusing, when you get to the lessons, or you kind of have to kind of review the lessons then when you kind of do this again. But what I have here then is this. I got 2 over 6, which itself becomes 1/3. Put this in your calculator so you can get that 1/3. So you'll be dragging that 1/3 over, right here to the front. And then what's the power? Well, you got x to the negative 3 underneath here. It means that x comes up as x to the third. I'm sorry, x to the third here on top, which means you have literally 15 x's on top. So x to the 15. Not the easiest question there is. It's a lot easier to do when there's calculators, but what I will do with you guys for today is we're going to at least check our answer. So until right now, the answer is 1/3 over here. And then this is a positive 15 on top. I can at least do one thing. I can check my answer. And I can do that 2 different ways. I'm using x, so it'll do it as a function. So 2x to the 12th power. All of that. I guess I could put the whole thing in parentheses. And divide it. And put here 6x to the negative 3. And I'm getting this really cool little function going on here, right? And then I can put my answer. 1 divided by 3. Right arrow. X. And then raise that guy to the 15. I'm getting the exact same equation. See that? How there's the exact same graph? You can at least, if you want to, check your answer and why it's that. Because again, x to the negative 3 is the positive on the other side of that division bar. Right? So all the positives are here on top, and it's just 2 over 6 is that 1/3. If you're not sure, put in your calculator. 2 divided by 6, and you go, give me the fraction, there's 1/3. All right, easy stuff, but I would check with the calculator.